With the awesome Season 17 updates of the firing range, I've been spending a lot of time in there, and I hope you are too. I wanted to put together just a quick reminders as to the basic movements that you could be practicing that will make a difference in your Apex games. I have included chapters in here, so if you want to skip some or just go straight to one or the other, feel free. And if there's some movement that I didn't include that I do actually know how to do, message me below and I will include that in my next video. The best kept secret of Apex improvement is work on your fundamentals. In this case, even your sprint speeds. So without weapons, my sprint speed is 299 on velocity. It's the same for all characters. When you pull out a weapon, it goes down to 260. This seems like a pretty small difference, but it really makes a change whenever you're talking about your sprinting abilities. So with a weapon out, you're not able to go 1 or 2 steps and make a slide. With 3 steps, you are able to make a slide. However, it seems like it's usually a little reduced. Without a weapon out, you can do 1 step and make a full slide. This is a really big deal, especially whenever you're trying to be maximum velocity and you're trying to fight your way across an opening like this one. Slide fatigue occurs whenever you try to slide faster than your character can recover. In this case, you need to take 3 steps after your first slide to be able to take your second slide. This is true for both the weapon out and the weapon in. The only difference is with a weapon away, you can take 1 step for your first slide and get the full momentum, and then take 3 steps and get your full momentum off your second slide. This is really important, especially if you're trying to make bigger movements or do like a wall bounce onto like this bridge here and want to ensure that you can actually make it. If you have reduced momentum, you're just going to do a wall bounce and go home crying. When you're practicing wall jumps, the most important feature to know about is the wall stick moment. It happens right as soon as my heirloom disappears, my hands start to appear on the wall. That's when I know I have attached to it and I can start moving left, right, or forward, back, whatever. If you hit back, you're going to disconnect from the wall forward, you're climbing up the wall left, right, pretty obvious. Unless, of course, you didn't realize that you could wrap around walls whenever you do that. That's how those sneaky, like Revenant type characters do that stuff. Now, if you jump, get the stick, and then bounce, all you're going to do is just go back to your spot. So to get your wall bounce, you've got to either do a slide beforehand to get that velocity up, and then you get some upward trajectory off of it. See Tree Ree's videos for actual better explanations. He's a master at this kind of stuff. Or you can do a fatigue jump where you do a jump first, and then you get your wall bounce by connecting with the wall and then re-enacting your jump key. So an easy movement that you can build off of with this is if you're doing a slide jump and you want to do some shots on top of a heightened position, all you got to do is one of those numbers, right? Just like that. That's all you got to do. But what is that? Okay, the reason it works is because you're letting go of your keys, right? So you're not pushing forward and making yourself climb all the way up. As soon as you get that wall bounce going, you can bounce off of it backwards, but you don't want to bounce off of it backwards. You want to be closer forward to it, so it's a little bit harder of an angle for them to hit. So if you do that wall bounce, all you got to do is do a slight tap forward after you bounce off, and then you're good to go for that jump. Then it's just a matter of learning how to aim in those quick moments. Zipline interactions are not an essential piece of Apex, but it is certainly fun to be able to do super jumps like that. So the first thing that you got to know is when you interact with the rope, there are 3 ways to dismount. 1, the computer will force you off. 2, you can jump, and that gives you an upward trajectory off the rope. Or if you hit your crouch key, that will also give you a trajectory, but more of a downward trajectory. That one is really effective if you're actually dropping down and you just want to latch onto it so it breaks your fall, break of inertia there. Then you can do that and just hit your crouch and not really lose your general area, and you don't launch off to somewhere. But back to the cool stuff. If you want to be able to do your super jump off of a rope, you got to hit your interact and then double tap your jump key. Now you can do this with spacebar. I'm not very good because I don't practice it very often, but there it is. You can do it with your spacebar, or if you, again with spacebar, if you bind it to a mouse wheel, then it is just like butter. You can get it every single time. Horizontal zip lines act much like vertical ones, where if you do a double jump, and the timing is kind of like if whenever you do your jump on that one, as soon as you see that action starting to happen, you can get your super jump off of it. It's a nice little double tap. Or you can use your mouse wheel and get it basically every single time. One movement that's not quite as great as it used to be is your bunny hopping. You do your slide, You can do a little jump, and then you can start doing your jumps every time you're about to hit the ground. And that's going to keep your momentum up around that 300. Remember, your sprint speed is 299. So if you're not very good at bunny hopping and you're not staying above 300, it really is not doing you any benefits to be doing that. It is much harder to do with the spacebar as well. This is one movement that I just never quite mastered with the spacebar and had to use the scroll wheel instead. Once you get pretty close to being able to do it consistently on a straight line as well, if you look a little bit left and a little bit right and you hold your keys down, that is going to make the difference between this being ineffective at about 250 on your velocity up to that 325 on your velocity. Guys, this was just a basic guide. There's a lot of things that we can do where we're linking these movements together and then applying them into combat in the 1v1 range, all inside of the firing range. If you want to see some of those videos, let me know, leave me a like, and thanks for watching.